so let's get right into things. The first thing you're going to need is, of course, a Raspberry Pi. You're going to want an Ethernet cable that you can connect to your router or your switch, whichever one you have. A micro SD card and a micro SD card adapter that you can plug into your computer. So it can either be a USB, or if you have like an iMac or maybe a MacBook Air that supports the full-size SD cards, you can get one of those adapters and that'll work too. All right, the first thing we're going to want to download is Raspbian. And I will leave the links in the description so you guys can just copy and paste, but I'm going to type it out here. So it's raspberrypi.org. I don't know why I'm in all caps. Let's turn that off. Downloads, /downloads, /Raspbian, and we'll hit return. All right, and the version you're going to want to download is the Raspbian Stretch Lite. We're going to download the zip. All right, while that's downloading, we can go ahead and download an app called Etcher, which will write the Raspbian image onto the flash card. Belina.io /Etcher. All right, there we are. We're going to download it for Mac OS in my scenario here. If you're on a different operating system, you can do it from there. Alrighty, let's open up Etcher and place it into our applications folder. All right, that looks good. And now let's insert our flash drive. All right, let's go into applications. We're going to open up this Etcher app. And we'll say open, we trust it. All right, we're going to select an image. It's going to be in my downloads folder. And let's go to list view. All right, and there it is, Raspbian Stretch-Lite. It can be in the zip format. You don't have to unzip it. It'll support it, and it will be prompted to select a drive. So I have this Lexar USB drive that's 2 gigs large. Not ideal, but it's what we have to work with right now. And click flash. You'll be prompted for your administrator password. You go ahead and enter it. And there we go, it's starting. While we're waiting for this to flash, we can actually go ahead and create an SSH file that we're going to need to place into the root boot directory of the flash drive or your SD card in order for us to be able to log in remotely. So for this purpose, I'll just use TextEdit. If you're on a Windows PC, you can download, or you can just use your notepad or something along those lines, essentially just a plain text editor. So I'm going to go to File, New, all right, Format, Make Plain Text, and I'm going to File, Save. All right, we're going to call it SSH, all lowercase. We're going to place it on the desktop. And if no extension is provided, you want to uncheck this because we actually do not want an extension here. And we'll hit save. All right, and there it is. So that's the SSH file that we're going to need to place into the root of the micro SD card once the flashing has completed. All right, so it looks like the flash was complete. We can go ahead and close out of this Etcher application. All right, and next order of business is to open up let's pull up disk utility here. Make sure we can get that drive to mount. Okay, there it is. Right click on it and mount. All right, there it goes. We're going to open it up here and we're going to drop in this SSH file that we just created. Okay, once that's in there, we can go ahead and close this window. Close this window and let's eject it. Excellent. So now that's ejected, we can pull out the flash drive or the adapter, whichever way you're using it. And let's plug it into the Raspberry Pi. Alright, once you have the flash drive plugged in, you should quick reboot. So just unplug it from power and plug it back in. Alright, and now you should see a green flashing light. So that green flashing light indicates that it has detected the operating system and it is good to go. Okay, so the next step in this process is to head over to your router or your switch, whichever one has available ports in the back, to connect it to your network. Plugged into power, plugged into Ethernet, going to the back of our router. All right, and at this point, you just want to leave things plugged in as they are and head back over to your laptop or your computer or wherever you initially set up the process. Most routers now have DHCP enabled automatically, so as soon as you plug it in, you're going to get an IP address for it. Now, figuring it out can be a little bit tricky. I use an app called Net Analyzer that actually scans the local network that you're on and lets you know what the actual devices are, and it gives you their IP addresses. So as you can see, the second one to the bottom is the Raspberry Pi. IP address is 192.168.1.11. I'm going to open up a terminal session. All right, let's make the text a little bit bigger here. Okay. And the IP address, so in order to SSH, we're going to have to do SSH. All right, and we're going to do, the username by default is pi at 192.168.1.11. And let's hit return. All right, and it's going to say, do you want to verify the key for this host? We're going to say yes. It's going to ask for our password to log in. So this is the Raspberry Pi's password, which is just Raspberry. And there we are. We are officially logged into. So from here, it's in your hands. If you have any other questions or things that you would like to see, leave them in the comments, and we'd be more than happy to take it in that direction. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.